It's really interesting, the story of how we got where we are. We quite often refer to it as Grassroots to GayTMs. It was a group of staff members getting together. We sort of ran it end to end with the Pride Network and the Mardi Gras committee we set up. It was very hands-on, but quite small. We had 25 people march, then we grew to 50 people march, and I think it was about 2014 GayTMs were born. You know, it became a global phenomenon. We've had banks asking to do it around the world. We had millions and millions of impressions, and actually, I think the Sydney tour buses actually changed their routes to go past the GayTMs. They were that popular, and it was a great opportunity for us to give back to the community with the ATM fees donated to 2010, an LGBTI youth charity in Sydney. I think that was one of the turning points. That's the year we became principal partner. We started having a formal campaign, and ANZ took the message beyond just staff marching and put it in our branches on our ATM screens and really said to Australia, we support diversity. In the first year, our costumes were really simple. We had t-shirts, love different, love ANZ was our theme, and some screen printed t-shirts, a little bit different to some of the costumes we've had in the past few years as we've gotten bigger and bigger. We have a theme for the costumes each year. We had tribal costumes, and it was one tribe, many faces, so we've tried to link it into a way of supporting the community and a story to tell. Sometimes we have a campaign, a marketing campaign or a message that we're taking to the wider market, like Hold Tight. We had 200 blue tutus with work boots, feather headpiece, marching down Oxford Street, really androgynous costume that everyone could make it a bit of who they are through that costume, and it just looked great. Speaking of Hold Tight, wow, that has to be one of the most defining moments for me in the work I've done with Pride Network at ANZ. When this concept came up and we heard the stories from our staff and our Pride Network members about what had happened to them and the feelings they had about holding hands in public, it was just such an emotional connection. But the fact that over 50% of the LGBTIQ community don't feel comfortable holding hands in public just blew my mind. So I think this campaign really helped us drive a message that, you know, hold tight, the world will be a better place. It feels really good the way we have grown from that real grassroots start with 25 people to, you know, over 200 staff marching. We have wait lists of people who want to be involved because it's such an amazing experience. It's such a strong event supporting the community, celebrating pride, celebrating diversity, which is something that's just part of our values. Working for an organisation that really supports the community and supports people and diversity as a whole is really important. I remember when I was first looking at jobs, where was I going to work, actually ANZ had a reputation even back 15 years ago when I joined and had the nickname GayNZ in the community. And that was one of the draw cards for me of why I joined ANZ. I was still unsure and a bit of trepidation. Could I be myself? I started at ANZ and I was in a really welcoming, great team, great experience, but there still wasn't very visible LGBTI support back then. I had a relationship role, so I met with lots of clients, and I would always self-edit with clients, talk about partner, and not mention, you know, my partner's gender or name because I didn't know how they'd react. It was very different, you know, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. ANZ's really come forward in the way it's visible, not just in Australia, but all over the world. We've got Pride Networks in 9 countries outside of Australia, thousands of staff who participate in our events, but more importantly, it's open to everybody. Pride Network is not just about LGBTIQ+, it's about allies and creating a safe place for everybody, celebrating diversity, inclusion and respect.